This is a tight one. And the winner is Eminem, the Eminem Show. Yes, sir. Yo. Man.
I ain't never made a fucking call, made a call to Diddy, really? I got Diddy's number, just hit him up. Yo, Diddy, what up? Never happened.
Eminem has never made. One relationship he refused to build, and in hip-hop, that silence says everything. Most rappers bend, they network, they pay respect to the gatekeepers, but Marshall Mathers built his entire career on a single principle: never bow to power. And there was one man whose orbit he deliberately avoided: Sean Combs. Think about that. Diddy had access to presidents, moguls. Every major artist in the game eventually crossed paths with him. Even 50 Cent, before the fallout, stood in that circle. But Eminem? He kept his distance from day one. Not in the 90s, not in the 2000s, not once. When that infamous bar finally dropped on Fuel, the internet erupted. But here's what they missed. Eminem had been circling this target for decades. When Marshall was still unknown, grinding in Detroit basements, Diddy was already untouchable. Bad Boy Records was the empire every hungry artist dreamed of joining. But Eminem chose a different mentor, a different vision. He signed with Dre, and together they didn't just break the rules, they rewrote them entirely. Even back in '96, on an underground track most people never heard, Eminem took a shot. Subtle, but deliberate, a warning sign of what was coming. And that fearlessness, it extended to someone far more dangerous. Suge Knight wasn't just intimidating, he was terror incarnate. The head of Death Row Records ruled through violence, and everyone in hip-hop knew it. Grown men avoided eye contact with him, but not Eminem. During the In the Club video shoot, Suge rolled up with known gang members. The set erupted in chaos, people scattered, cameras stopped rolling, and Eminem, he walked straight outside to confront them. No security between them, no backup plan, just a white kid from Detroit staring down the most feared man in rap. Suge backed down that day. The situation dissolved. Later, even Eminem recorded a vicious diss track aimed directly at him, so brutal that Dre personally asked him not to release it. So here's the real question. If Eminem wasn't afraid of Suge Knight, why would Diddy be any different? Over the years, Eminem kept dropping breadcrumbs. On the Marshall Mathers LP, he pushed boundaries most wouldn't dare approach. Lines that made people uncomfortable. Diddy never responded publicly, but silence doesn't equal peace. Their worlds occasionally collided. In 2003, Diddy handed Eminem a Grammy on stage. They shook hands, cameras flashed, but anyone watching closely could feel the tension beneath the smiles. Publicly, Diddy praised Eminem's skill. Privately, that's a different story. Ironically, 50 Cent became the bridge between them. Diddy passed on signing him because of street politics. Eminem stepped in. The rest is history. Tens of millions of records sold, one of hip-hop's most explosive partnerships, another opportunity Puff missed. For years, an uneasy truce held. Then, the ground shifted. 2015, a documentary called Murder Rap resurfaced the darkest chapter in hip-hop history. A retired LAPD detective went on record claiming Diddy had put money on Tupac's head. Named names, connected dots. The internet ignited. 50 Cent went scorched earth, and Eminem, he was watching, listening, taking notes. 3 years later, Kill Shot dropped. That final line landed like a grenade, seemingly playful on the surface, but designed to reopen old wounds. According to industry sources, Diddy was livid because for him, Tupac's murder wasn't just history, it was the accusation that refused to die. And still, Eminem and Diddy maintained their distance. No conversations, no phone calls, no relationship whatsoever. But the story was far from over. In 2020, Music to Be Murdered By featured another subtle jab. Then an unreleased verse leaked, one that directly attacked Diddy's media platform, Revolt TV. Within hours, Eminem issued a rare public apology, claiming the verse was never meant to see daylight. But was it really a mistake? Or was Eminem testing the waters? Because by late 2023, everything exploded. Lawsuits piled up, accusations of abuse, violence, and trafficking filled headlines. Cassie came forward with allegations that painted a horrifying picture spanning years. Around the same time, Keefe D was arrested, publicly discussing his alleged role in Tupac's murder and his connection to Diddy. The timing couldn't have been more perfect for what came next. The Death of Slim Shady wasn't a comeback album, it was a reckoning. This time, Eminem didn't hide behind wordplay or clever references, he went direct. Multiple tracks addressed the accusations head-on. References to alleged parties, graphic descriptions of abuse, lines connecting Biggie and Tupac's deaths to one man's shadow. No ambiguity, no room for interpretation. Eminem had made his choice, and he aligned himself firmly beside 50 Cent, two artists who refused to look away.
At this point, there's no neutral ground left, no polite Grammy handshakes, no superficial industry respect. Eminem has drawn a line in the sand, and Diddy, a man who never forgets a slight, knows exactly where it is. Through decades of evolution, reinvention, and empire building, one truth has remained constant. Eminem has never been afraid, not of Suge Knight, not of Sean Combs, not of anyone who traded in power and intimidation. And that fearlessness, it's exactly why this war is far from over. Because when you refuse to bend, when you refuse to stay silent, when you refuse to play the game everyone else is trapped in, you become the one thing the industry can't control. You become untouchable in a different way. And Diddy just learned what that really means.
More with Puffy, and if you want to hang out, more than welcome to stick around, my brother. All right, we'll be right back.
I get a little uncomfortable. I get uncomfortable. Like he said something to me one time, a long time ago. He told me he'd take me shopping. I looked at him like, what'd you just say? Let me move, man, before I do something. You're gonna make me mess up the wedding.
Oh, that's a nice gesture.
Let me get out of no, take me, that's what a guy says to a girl.
Because P. Diddy be wanting the body. And you gotta tell him no. You got to tell him no.